We're going to be looking at graphing some linear equations here real quick. You've done it before. Just reminding you of what's going on here. The y equals mx plus b is your standard form. It's slope-intercept form. M is the slope, and b is the y-intercept. Hence the name, slope-intercept form. So when you're looking at number one, you got your m, you got your b. So m is this 3/5 fraction, b is 2. So you always start with the b. So I'm going to put the y-intercept on the y-axis, put 2 on there, and then the slope is always rise over run. So it's how far you go up and down divided by how far you go left and right. So I'm going to rise 3, I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go run 5. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to put the dot up there. Now, I would also encourage you to do the slope backwards. So instead of going up 3, I'm going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3, and then left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that's going to be where I put my dot. And then you just connect your dots with a line. And there you go. Okay, so should be fairly straightforward when you have it in slope-intercept form. So number 2 is in slope-intercept form. The only difference is there's a negative on your slope. So I always think about that as being a negative 4 over a positive 5. Put the negative on the top. It makes it easier most of the time. You can also flip it and put the negative on the bottom. Okay, so you'll go down 4 and right 5. Or you can flip it and go up 4 and left 5. So I'll let you do number 2. And let's go look at number 4 here. This number 4 is not in slope-intercept form, so we have to fix it. We have to get it into slope-intercept form. So we have x plus 2y equals 0. So I want to get the y by itself. So the first thing I need to do is move the x. So I want to move the x to the other side, so I have to subtract x on both sides of the equal sign. X minus x cancels out, it goes to 0. So that 2y will drop down. And then over on the right side, I have that negative x, and then that plus 0. Now, since it's 0, I don't really need it, but you would just add or subtract your number there. And remember, our goal is to get y by itself, so I want to get rid of that 2. So I'm going to divide everything by 2, even the 0. So the 2 over 2 cancels out. So I've still got y. The y did not cancel. Equals negative, what's in front of that x there? There's a 1 there in front of that x, right? So I'm going to have negative 1 over 2x, and then 0 divided by 2 gives me 0. And now I've got the y by itself, so now I have the equation in slope-intercept form. Right, so I have the m is negative 1/2, and the b is 0. So when b is 0, you start it at 0, 0. Slope is negative 1/2, so I'm going to go down 1, and then to the right 2, and that's where I'm going to put my dot. And then I can reverse that and go up 1 and left 2, and that's where I'm going to put my dot. So there I have the graph of that equation. Okay, so yep, your goal is to get the y by itself, move the x, divide by the number in front of the y. You'll have some fractions on the slope, because that'll give you your rise over run. Now, what about number 3? It says x equals. There is no y. Right, so I'm going to go where x equals, because x equals 4. I'm going to go where x equals 4. There is no y, so it's never going to cross this y-axis. Right, so it's got to go straight up and down. Another way I think about that is, where else does x equal 4? Well, x equals 4 all the way along this line. X equals 4 all over the place there, right? You don't need to put all those dots. You just need to put a dot at x equals 4 and then put a vertical line. So x equals 4 is going to be a vertical line. When you get to the y equals, you're going to have a horizontal line. Okay? So they said y equals 4. Y equals 4 would go through the 4 on the y-axis and go parallel to the x, perpendicular to the y. Okay? So there's that. If you got questions, let me know.